What is good? Fuck, good. Everyone. Ashkeebs here. This is so scuffed. So general housekeeping and some disclaimers. Dangkeebs actually sent these switches in for an honest review. And also, I just want to point out that only 21% of my viewers are actually subscribed. So if you like my content and my degeneracy, then consider subscribing. I really appreciate it. Also, I just want to say that one of my good friends' sets, GMK sets, GMK Hazakura, is now running. My buddy Chomu, is the one that designed this set, so please consider. What is good, everyone? Ashkeebs here. Today we're going to be looking at these son of a bitches. The blue velvets. These come with tactile and linear versions, and like their name features a color scheme that looks mighty tasty. We'll be taking a look at these switches and comparing these switches to some of the popular linear and tactile switches that are readily available in the market today. So some info on these velvets. These are switches manufactured by Tecsee, featuring a proprietary plastic blend called PME. I don't know what this stands for, but judging by how they tempted me, I could say that it stands for pretty much enticing. I'm sorry for that pun. Just kidding, I'm not. Anyways, these also feature a long pole palm stem, which I am pretty excited about, because I like it long and hard. Meaning the bottom out, get your fucking mind out of the gutter. So for the linear blue velvets, we'll be comparing them to Tangees, Alpacas, POM Durocks, Lubed Mx Blacks, Lubed Yellows, Tealios Ink V2s, Creampacas, and NK Creams. And for the tactiles, we'll be comparing them to Pewters, Browns, Ergo Clears, T1s, Holy Pandas, Zealios, Boba U4Ts, and Moyu Blacks. So looking at the stems of the linears, I just included the standard ones, standard length ones, in comparison to the longer ones. The blue velvets are actually very close in length, maybe a little longer. I can't really confirm because I don't have calipers, but than the NK creams. And then looking at the stem of the tactiles, you can also see that the blue velvets are very close in length to the Halo and Boba U4Ts, as well as Moyu Blacks, so they're in line with a lot of the meta long pole tactile switches. So let's do a quick scuffed as wobble test. I just want to note that each switch can have variances a bit depending on batches, so this is not 100% accurate, but let's just get right to it. Tactile blue velvets, up, down, left, right. These are fucking tight as hell. Pewters, up, down, left, right, pretty good. Browns, down, left, right, a little bit wobbly. T1s, up, down, left, right, a little wobbly as well. Moyu Blacks, up, down, left, right, very tight. Boba U4Ts, tight. Zealios, a little bit wobbly. Holy Pandas, up, down, left, right, a little wobbly. Actually, nah, these are pretty tight. Ergo Clears, up, down, left, right, a bit wobbly. Then going to the linears, blue velvets, up, down, left, right, same tightness as its brother or sister, whatever you want it to be. Tangees, up, down, left, right. These are pretty tight actually. Alpacas, good. POM Durocks, fine. Gat Yellows, a bit wobbly. Tealioses, a little wobbly as well. Gatorons, Ink V2s, also a little wobbly. Mx Blacks, a bit wobbly. Creampacas, they're pretty tight. And the NK Creams, are a bit on the wobbly side as well. But you know, it's very different per batch it could be, and then you're gonna film them most of the time. I don't think I'm gonna film these the blue velvets though. They seem real tight. So like always for the sound test, just keep in mind that everyone's case, everyone's room acoustics, mic setup, lubing technique, all that is different. Just take this with a grain of salt. It isn't going to be 100% accurate. This should just be used for reference. And I'll be doing all the tests on the Z position of the keyboard to keep it consistent. I'm using the mode 80 with all gaskets installed, aluminum plate. I use this setup for all my other sound tests to, you know, give a reference if you ever need to compare the sounds in my other videos. But you know, it's what it is, it's what I do usually, and yeah, just run the shit. So let's see how I feel about these switches. So before I start, this is just purely my own opinion. Don't take it too seriously if you find some other, like, if you don't agree with it, you know, it's just what I think, you know, just trying out the switches on hand. So for the linear, let's start with the linear. For the linear blue velvets, I would say that the smoothness, you should go check out my big bad linear switch video as well as the big bad tactile switch video, and go to like the end where I talk about my rating scale. But tangerines are the smoothest in my opinion, or one of the smoothest switches, and creams are pretty damn scratchy. I think that the blue velvet linears fall a little bit closer to the creams. It is not very smooth. I think they are about the same smoothness as a Gat Yellow, but if you're looking for a very smooth switch, this isn't going to be it. But smoothness isn't really everything. The feeling of the bottom out is very similar to the Creampacas, which is a Franken switch with the long cream stem in a alpaca housing. This is probably the closest, or one of the closest stock switches to come to replicate the feeling of this sort of fast bottoming out. With it is not as loud, and not as the travel is a bit longer than the Creampacas, but the switch that was the closest before were the POM Durocks, and I think this comes a bit closer than the POM Durocks to replicating that feeling. So for the tactile variant of the blue velvets, in terms of tactility, with the baseline being Mx Browns being the lightest, and then the Ergo clears, and then T1s and Zealios and Boba U4Ts being really strong, I would say that these come right in between Ergos and T1s. They're not the strongest tactile feedback, but I actually think it's quite pleasing. The bottoming out feel and the tactile bump feel is very similar to the the Boba U4Ts, the Moyu Blacks, any of the switches with the long pole. It has that harsher bottoming out, which I really like. So what are my thoughts on these switches? Well, they are quite good. I actually like them a lot. They come in at around 47 cents per switch, and that is on the lower end compared to major switches that are popular nowadays. And for the linears, I think it is a bit on the scratchy side. The PME housing is not the smoothest, but it still has a very unique feel with that harsher or louder bottoming out due to the longer pole. And the I actually really like the blue velvet tactiles. I think that for the price it mimics, or it has the similar feeling of the long pole that are really popular in the Holy Pandas, Boba U4Ts, Moyu Blacks, and those type of switches. The tactility is a little less, but I actually prefer that, and the sound is nice and deep. The linears are also on the deeper end of the sound spectrum, and honestly, these are pretty interesting switches that I am quite happy I tried. I'm excited to see more different manufacturers like Tecsee bring in switches like this to the market, because right now we have too many fucking JWKs. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for the continued support. Appreciate it. I got a lot more switch videos coming soon. My friend actually helped me lube them up because I have so many of them. Shout out to Festive. But I appreciate everyone that's tuning in and watching it till the end, watching my videos to the end and subscribing and stuff. More content, switch reviews and builds, and comedy videos on the way soon, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.